What's good, y'all? I already know where y'all at. It's your boy Star Jones, and it's a new episode of Star Views. It's about to start right now. So please, I hope you got your hookah ready, and I hope you got your cups full of whatever ready, because I got a lot to talk about, alright? Know what's going on. Star Jones, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Please and thanks, you heard?
What's good, folks? It's the man Star Jones. We back, man. Another episode of Star Quick Views. Today we're gonna be talking about a particular movie, but I just want to lead off with if you haven't already followed, subscribe to the channel, please do so. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure y'all hit the comments. Let me know how you guys feel about what I'm talking about and whether or not you disagree. So today rather, it was a long, busy weekend. I'm not gonna lie. I spent most of my Saturday in the theater. So you guys will be getting 2 episodes of Star Views this week. I'm excited to actually speak about both. So the first one up is going to be about a beloved video game character. I'm sure my millennials can all relate. We played this particular franchise back on the Sega Genesis console, and I actually reviewed the first movie that preceded this. And this movie is actually the sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Starring the Blue Hedgehog, Sonic himself, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, and pretty much this movie is again a sequel to the film that came out back in 2020. If you watch again my original Star Views on Sonic, the first one, Sonic the Hedgehog 1. You guys pretty much know how I felt about that. I didn't really love it too much. I just didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was very okay, like definition average. I thought it was just an okay movie. I didn't think it was nothing special. All right. So as always, we're gonna do the overview, talk about what transpired in the film, and then we're gonna ultimately talk about what I give it, what I rate it, pros and cons, things like that. So I'll be back in 2 ticks. I'm about to make a drink, and we're gonna talk about it. See you in a minute. Let's just get right into it. As I mentioned, this is the sequel to the first film that came out back in 2020. So, the opening act of this film, we see Dr. Robotnik. He's on the mushroom planet that Sonic banished him to during the final boss battle in the first film, in the climax of the first film. Dr. Robotnik goes to say something to the effect of he's been there for 256 days. If I heard correctly, give or take. I know it was 2 something. So that's about 8.5 months. He's been on his mushroom planet surviving. How? God knows. I don't know how he survived that long on just mushrooms alone, a mushroom diet. But that just reinforces how resourceful Dr. Robotnik is. He's definitely extremely intelligent, because I know I probably wouldn't have survived that long. It's funny because they actually took a page from the movie Castaway. Remember when Tom Hanks, his best friend was a volleyball? His best friend, Dr. Robotnik's best friend, was Agent Stone, which was a rock. So I think that was pretty funny. So not too long into us seeing Dr. Robotnik still surviving and trying to cook up a plan how to get back to planet Earth, we see these warriors come through a ring. And we know the rings in the movie have the power to just teleport you to a particular location. Dr. Robotnik happened to set up booby traps, and so they were able to take out the initial 3 warriors, but then we saw Knuckles walk through the ring. And that was cool. I think the fact that they didn't waste any time giving us Knuckles was perfect. Like, we met Knuckles like 8-9 minutes into the movie. So, at that point, Dr. Robotnik and Knuckles begin to converse, have a conversation, and realize that they have a common interest. Knuckles is looking for Sonic, and Dr. Robotnik is motivated to find Sonic and kill him. So, they agree to work with one another, and that's when Dr. Robotnik he heads to planet Earth. Then we jump perspective and we go to Sonic. We see Sonic is in Seattle, and like the Batman, Robert Pattinson's version, that Batman had to learn how to be a hero. He wasn't quite good at being a hero yet. He had an idea what it entailed, but he wasn't quite the best. And that's Sonic. Sonic was taking on his hero mantra, and he had to learn. Like, he was putting his life on the line to save people, but he was also at the same time putting the civilians at risk. He hadn't really mastered the art of being a hero, the nuances of being a hero. So, after he saved the day but almost hurt people in the process, he had a long conversation with Tom, who's like his dad figure in the film. And Tom just, reassured him that he's still a kid and that, you have to learn how to handle yourself in certain situations. You got to pick and choose your battles. And again, he appreciates his heart being in the right place, but, just understand that you have a lot to learn. Again, Tom's character is a sheriff, so he's in law enforcement. He also has a good heart. He wants to save people, things like that. So that's where that bond comes from. And then alright, so this is where the movie gets interesting because Tika Sumpter's character, I forget her name, her sister, played by Shorty from Insecure, is getting married. So they're off to Hawaii for a couple days, and this is when Sonic is kind of left to fend for himself for a couple days. He has a whole house to himself, things like that, and this is where the movie gets interesting. So as Tom and his wife is in Hawaii on vacation, Sonic is in the crib just tearing it up, having a good time, and that's when Knuckles shows up. Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik. And this is when they get it on. This is round one, and when I tell you Knuckles beat the snot out of Sonic, I kind of felt bad for my boy, the Blue Hedgehog. He got his boot smoked something crazy. Fortunately, Tails pulled up, and if y'all remember when Tails was first shown in the climax of the first film, the post-credit, mid-credit, that was actually taking place in this present timeline in the second film. So that time we saw Tails for the first time was actually like a fast-forward situation. So Tails pulls up, saves Sonic. They end up running away from Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik. And as they're running from Dr. Robotnik, they realize what Knuckles is after, because Knuckles mentioned his power and, this emerald. So they quickly realize that this emerald is somewhere in Siberia like 100 miles off the coast of Hawaii. So it's pretty much a race to get to this emerald. That's the movie. It's Sonic and Tails racing to get this emerald before Knuckles and Dr. Robotnik can get there. So fast forward, we get to where the emerald is. Sonic and Knuckles get it on again. But at this point, Knuckles realized that Dr. Robotnik's intent wasn't good, and he backstabs Knuckles. And that's when, the second part of the film is now Knuckles teams up with Tails and Sonic. I kind of left spoilers out. I kind of tell you what happened, but I didn't give you a lot of details. So I didn't really ruin anything for you guys. But it's just like the video game. If you played the video games in the past, pretty much that's how Knuckles becomes Sonic's friend. He realized that Dr. Robotnik ain't shit, and now we're friends now. Now we have a common enemy. So again, that's pretty much the movie. It's just a race against time to get to the Green Emerald before the bad guys do. Alright, so when I get back, we're going to talk about, how I feel about it, the pros and cons, and ultimately what I'm going to rate it. So I'll see you guys in 2 seconds. So it's that time, folks, you know what I'm saying, where we talk about how I felt about the movie. I'm going to just start by saying that this movie was a lot better than the first film. I actually like the fact that the Master Emerald was the prime objective, because that was something that was a prime objective in the video game, so that was true to the source material. I love when video game movies actually stick to the script, you know what I'm saying? I don't like when movies kind of try to do their own thing, like with the Resident Evil movies, the original one. They kind of create characters and create this new story. So I like the fact that Sonic kind of stuck to the script. Sega did their thing with that. I definitely appreciate that. There's a part of I think this whole movie was just funnier than the first film. Especially because it's geared towards children. So as an adult, you kind of want to see it, because again, it's nostalgic for us. Sonic is something that we grew up playing. So if we're going to watch it now as adults, we kind of want to enjoy it too. And I think that was the issue with the first one. I just didn't enjoy it. And again, they made it a point of trying to make it funny. And again, I recently watched Sonic. I watched it Friday night. This past Friday night, before I actually saw Sonic on Saturday. So again, I watched it again and I still felt the same way I felt before. I just didn't feel like it did anything for adults. And I don't know, maybe we needed the inclusion of Tails and Knuckles for us to really be happy and satisfied as fans. Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey just knocks that role out the park. I'm hoping that, because there's been speculation and rumors that Jim Carrey is going to retire from acting. Um, and that'd be a blow to this franchise if he does decide to retire, because I don't know who will play Dr. Robotnik as well as he did. Um, so yeah, Dr. Robotnik is Jim Carrey knocks it out the park, and he makes the film that much more enjoyable. I think he was funny in this film than he was in the first one. Speaking about funny, shout out to the shorty from Insecure. I don't know her name, but she is also probably the second funniest person in this film. She dead had me crying with the whole wedding scene. Here's a spoiler. Shamar Moore is her fiance in the film, and Shamar Moore ends up working for the government. He's a government agent, and so at the wedding, like the news, it comes out that because Sonic shows up at the wedding, and it's like, oh, we've been looking for Sonic, so we're here to arrest Sonic and Tom and Tails. And so Shorty from Insecure is all heartbroken over the fact. So, but that whole interaction and banter between her and Shamar Moore was hilarious. I think that was so funny. So that was cool, especially like for the adults. So that was a good like plot twist. I think the people for this movie did an amazing job with the CGI. Knuckles, the way the design of these characters was so spot on. It's like you just had no choice but to love it. Here's another spoiler. Super Sonic. For my fans out there, that's when Sonic goes Super Saiyan. That was so cool to see. And I just think like how it happened was perfect. Sometimes when characters get overpowered or OP, it sometimes doesn't feel like the ascension was timed perfectly. But I feel like the way they wrote it and the way it transpired in the film was perfect. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel forced. The pace of the film was real good. Nothing, and the fact that Sonic runs so fast, you would think that a movie would feel fast. This movie is 2 hours and some minutes, like 6 minutes. But it felt even paced. I didn't even realize that at 2 hours had gone by. So the pace of this film was good. The acting was all right. It was not crazy. But again, I think the purpose of this film is to be funny. And they really stuck to the source material, and I'm happy about that. It was a lot of nostalgic things that they did and they took from the game, like Dr. Robotnik's egg-shaped ship that he flies around with during the boss battles in the game. That was cool. I really enjoyed this movie way more than I did the first film. I'm going to give this film 7.5 stars. This movie was really good. I had a great time. There were kids in the movie standing up, cheering, clapping. Usually I'm annoyed, but I was standing up, clapping, and inside with them. I was happy too when I seen Super Sonic, and when him, Knuckles, and Tails all became friends. Like that was like it was good. It was so fun to see. It was. I ain't even mad at the kids in there for doing backflips, because that's how I wanted to. If I wasn't an adult, I probably would have been there doing backflips with them. But really good. Definitely check it out. 7.5. I know you're probably saying 7.5 star. That's not really good. 7.5 is really good. I think that's a solid grade. Check it out. Spend the money. Take your kids. Even if you don't have kids, go there by yourself. Whatever. That's what I did. And just have a good time. The movie's a good time. All the way through. It's fun. And again, like I said, they waste no time introducing Knuckles. And that's something that you can enjoy. And even the fight between them in round 2 was pretty good. As far as the choreography and how they had them really getting it on, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I was thoroughly impressed. Not even going to front. So again, 7.5 stars. Check it out. Make sure y'all go there and see it. Tell them Star sent you. And I will have another episode of Star Views for you coming up soon. So make sure y'all, watch this video. And I got something else coming for y'all. Next episode is going to be on Ambulance, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Another Michael Bay action-packed thriller. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So hope y'all enjoyed this video. By the time y'all done watching this, I probably got the other video up. So see y'all again.
Oh, y'all still here? Appreciate y'all for sticking around, man. But I don't got no more hookah. But what I do have is more content on my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit that red button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I post anything. Alright? And if you haven't already followed me on social media, here's my information. Make sure y'all follow up. Appreciate it. Y'all still here, man. That's valid. Have a good one.